Which nations are truly living large? From financial powerhouses to tiny states with massive wealth, we're counting down the richest countries in the world based on GDP per capita. You might be surprised who's at the top. Stick around as we explore what makes these economies tick and why size isn't everything when it comes to wealth. 1. Luxembourg, Europe's hidden powerhouse. Luxembourg, a small landlocked country nestled between Belgium, France, and Germany, is one of the richest nations in the world by GDP per capita. Despite its modest size and population, it boasts a powerful and diverse economy, driven by finance, technology, and logistics. Luxembourg is home to a highly developed banking sector and serves as a major hub for private banking and investment funds, thanks to its favorable regulatory environment and political stability. The country's strategic location in the heart of Europe makes it a key player in international commerce and governance. It hosts important institutions of the European Union, and its trilingual population, speaking Luxembourgish, French, and German, makes it uniquely adaptable in global business. Luxembourg also invests heavily in infrastructure, innovation, and green technologies, pushing toward a sustainable and digital future. Despite its wealth, the country maintains a strong social welfare system, high-quality healthcare, and excellent public services. Culturally rich and historically significant, Luxembourg blends medieval charm with modern sophistication. From its UNESCO-listed Old Town to its high-tech financial district, it is a nation where tradition meets innovation. In many ways, Luxembourg exemplifies how small countries can exert global influence and maintain high standards of living. Singapore, a vibrant city-state in Southeast Asia, boasts a remarkable GDP per capita of $153,610, underscoring its status as a global economic powerhouse. This impressive figure reflects Singapore's strategic emphasis on sectors such as finance, technology, and trade. The nation serves as a pivotal hub for international banking and investment, attracting multinational corporations with its robust regulatory framework and business-friendly environment. Despite its economic strengths, Singapore faces challenges amid escalating global trade tensions. The recent imposition of universal tariffs by the United States poses potential risks to its export-driven economy. Prime Minister Lawrence Wong has expressed concerns about these developments, noting that such tariffs could significantly impact Singapore's trade relations and economic stability. In response, the government has established a task force to navigate these uncertainties and support affected sectors. Economists project a moderation in Singapore's economic growth, with forecasts indicating a 2.6% expansion in 2025, down from 4.4% in the previous year. This anticipated slowdown is attributed to external factors, including the aforementioned trade frictions and geopolitical uncertainties. Nonetheless, Singapore's commitment to innovation and diversification continues to position it favorably in the global market. The government's proactive measures, coupled with the nation's resilient economic structure, aim to mitigate the adverse effects of external pressures. By fostering a conducive environment for business and investing in emerging industries, Singapore strives to maintain its economic vitality and high standard of living for its citizens. Ireland, with a GDP per capita of $131,550, stands as one of the world's wealthiest nations. This prosperity is largely driven by a robust economy that heavily relies on multinational corporations, particularly in the pharmaceutical and technology sectors. These industries have significantly contributed to Ireland's economic growth and fiscal health. However, recent global developments have posed challenges. In early 2025, the United States imposed a 20% tariff on all European Union imports, directly impacting Ireland's export-driven economy. Sectors such as pharmaceuticals and agri-food, which are heavily dependent on U.S. markets, face potential job losses and reduced export volumes. Estimates suggest that up to 60,000 Irish jobs could be at risk due to these tariffs. In response, the Irish government is adopting a cautious fiscal approach. Plans for €2.2 billion cost of living package in Budget 2026 have been shelved to maintain economic stability. The focus has shifted towards sustainable investments in infrastructure and public services, aiming to bolster the economy against external shocks. Despite these challenges, Ireland's economic fundamentals remain strong. The unemployment rate stands at a relatively low 4.2%, reflecting a resilient labor market. Moreover, the government's commitment to prudent fiscal policies and diversification of trade partnerships positions Ireland to navigate current uncertainties and sustain its economic prosperity. Qatar, a small yet affluent nation in the Middle East, boasts a GDP per capita of $118,148, positioning it among the world's wealthiest countries. This prosperity is primarily driven by its vast reserves of natural gas and oil, which have been the cornerstone of its economic development. In recent years, Qatar has embarked on an ambitious strategy to diversify its economy beyond hydrocarbons. The government has identified key sectors for growth, including clean energy, logistics, tourism, sports, and artificial intelligence. These initiatives aim to sustain economic expansion, increase foreign direct investment, and enhance the country's global competitiveness. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, projects Qatar's real GDP growth to reach 2% in 2024 through 2025, supported by public investment and the ongoing expansion of liquefied natural gas, LNG, production. This growth is also bolstered by a strong tourism sector, which has seen increased international interest following Qatar's hosting of the FIFA World Cup. Qatar's sovereign wealth fund, the Qatar Investment Authority, QIA, manages assets estimated at $500 billion. The QIA plans to aggressively pursue large-scale investments, particularly in the United States, United Kingdom, and Asia, focusing on sectors such as technology, artificial intelligence, healthcare, real estate, and infrastructure. This strategy aims to capitalize on the anticipated windfall from the expanded LNG production, potentially doubling the fund's size within 5 years. To further stimulate private sector growth, Qatar has implemented measures such as forgiving loans provided to companies during the COVID-19 pandemic. These initiatives reflect the government's commitment to economic diversification and support for domestic enterprises. Despite its wealth, Qatar faces challenges, including regional geopolitical tensions and the need to reduce economic dependence on hydrocarbons. Nevertheless, with strategic investments and a focus on innovation, Qatar is poised to maintain its economic prominence on the global stage. Macao, Special Administrative Region of China, often referred to as Macao, is a vibrant city known for its unique blend of Portuguese and Chinese cultures. As of 2024, Macao's GDP per capita is estimated at $78,962, reflecting its significant economic growth over recent decades. The backbone of Macao's economy is its gaming and tourism industries, which contribute over 90% of its GDP. Since the liberalization of the gaming sector in the early 2000s, Macao has surpassed Las Vegas to become the world's largest gambling hub. This transformation has attracted millions of tourists annually, predominantly from mainland China, fueling rapid economic expansion. Despite its economic success, Macao faces challenges related to economic diversification and social development. The heavy reliance on the gaming industry makes the economy vulnerable to policy changes and external factors affecting tourism. In response, the government has initiated efforts to diversify the economy by promoting sectors such as finance, technology, and traditional Chinese medicine. Macao operates under the One Country, Two Systems framework, granting it a high degree of autonomy since its handover from Portugal to China in 1999. This arrangement has allowed Macao to maintain its own legal and economic systems, contributing to its stability and attractiveness as an international tourism and business center. As Macao continues to evolve, balancing economic diversification with sustainable development remains a priority to ensure long-term prosperity and resilience against external shocks. Switzerland, renowned for its economic stability and high standard of living, reported a GDP per capita of $99,995 in 2023, reflecting a 7.22% increase from the previous year. Projections indicate that this figure will surpass $100,000 by the end of 2024. The Swiss economy is predominantly service-oriented, with the services sector contributing approximately 74% to the national GDP, while industry accounts for 25% and agriculture less than 1%. Key industries include finance, pharmaceuticals, and manufacturing, all of which play pivotal roles in the nation's economic framework. About Switzerland. In 2024, Switzerland experienced a GDP growth of 0.8%, a deceleration from the 1.2% growth observed in the previous year. This slowdown can be attributed to various factors, including global economic uncertainties and trade tensions. Notably, in April 2025, the United States imposed a 31% tariff on Swiss imports, significantly higher than the 20% levied on European Union goods. This action prompted criticism from Swiss business groups, who deemed the tariffs harmful and unjustified. The Swiss National Bank, SNB, responded to these challenges by adjusting its monetary policy. In early 2025, the SNB lowered its benchmark interest rate to 0.25%, positioning it as the lowest globally at that time. This move aimed to counteract the appreciation of the Swiss franc, which had been strengthened by the prevailing tariff turmoil, thereby exerting pressure on the export-dependent economy. Despite these headwinds, Switzerland's economic outlook remains cautiously optimistic. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development forecasts GDP growth of 1.3% in 2024 and 1.5% in 2025, with an anticipated strengthening to 1.9% by 2026. These projections underscore the resilience and adaptability of the Swiss economy amid evolving global dynamics. The United Arab Emirates, UAE, has established itself as a prominent economic hub in the Middle East, characterized by substantial growth and diversification. As of 2023, the nation's GDP per capita stood at $52,977, reflecting a slight decline of 1.36% from the previous year. Projections indicate a positive trajectory, with expectations of reaching $59,268 by the end of 2025 and trending towards $51,781 in 2026. The UAE's economy is notably diversified, with the services sector contributing approximately 74% to the national GDP, industry accounting for 25%, and agriculture less than 1%. This diversification has been instrumental in the country's robust economic performance. In the second quarter of 2024, the UAE economy expanded by 3.9% year-on-year, surpassing the 3.4% growth recorded in the first quarter. This acceleration was driven by a strong non-hydrocarbon sector. Looking ahead, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, projects overall GDP growth of 3.7% in 2024, with an anticipated acceleration to 4.5% in the medium term. These forecasts are underpinned by domestic non-hydrocarbon activity, ongoing reforms, and a rapid expansion in hydrocarbon production, particularly following the UAE's OPC plus quota increase from 2025. The UAE's strategic focus on trade diversification has yielded significant results. In 2024, the country achieved a record 3 trillion dirhams, $817 billion, in non-oil trade, marking a 14.6% increase from the previous year. This growth aligns with the UAE's Vision 2031 plan, which aims to modernize and diversify the economy, fostering an environment conducive to foreign investment. Despite these positive developments, the UAE faces challenges, including fluctuating oil prices and regional geopolitical tensions. Nevertheless, the nation's commitment to economic diversification, strategic investments, and robust policy frameworks positions it favorably for sustained growth and resilience in the evolving global economic landscape. Norway, renowned for its high standard of living and robust economy, reported a GDP per capita of $87,962 in 2023, marking a 19.15% decline from the previous year. This decline was primarily due to fluctuations in global oil prices, given Norway's significant reliance on petroleum exports. The Norwegian economy is characterized by a well-balanced mix of sectors. The services sector contributes approximately 63.5% to the GDP. Industry accounts for 34.7%, and agriculture represents about 1.6%. This diversification has enabled Norway to maintain economic stability despite external challenges. In response to the recent economic downturn, the Norwegian government has been implementing strategies to diversify its economy further, aiming to reduce dependence on oil and gas revenues. Investments in renewable energy, technology, and fisheries are part of this long-term plan to ensure sustainable growth. Looking ahead, the International Monetary Fund projects a modest GDP growth rate of 1.5% for Norway in 2024. This cautious optimism reflects expectations of a gradual recovery in global oil markets and the positive impact of economic diversification efforts. Norway's prudent fiscal policies, substantial sovereign wealth fund, and commitment to innovation position it well to navigate future economic challenges and maintain its citizens' high quality of life. The United States boasts one of the world's largest and most diversified economies. In 2023, the U.S. recorded a GDP per capita of $82,697, reflecting a 6% increase from the previous year. This growth trajectory continued into 2024, with GDP per capita reaching $87,881. The U.S. economy is predominantly service-oriented, with the services sector contributing approximately 80.2% to the GDP. Industries account for about 18.9%, while agriculture comprises a modest 0.9%. This diverse economic base encompasses leading sectors such as technology, finance, healthcare, and manufacturing. Despite robust economic indicators, the U.S. faces challenges related to income inequality and the rising cost of living. Disparities in GDP per capita across states are notable. For instance, New York reported a GDP per capita of $117,332 in 2024, whereas Mississippi's figure stood at $53,601. Additionally, inflationary pressures have impacted household purchasing power, prompting debates on economic policies aimed at fostering equitable growth. The U.S. maintains a significant position in the global economy, accounting for approximately 26% of the world's nominal GDP. This economic prominence underscores the nation's influence on international trade, finance, and policymaking. San Marino, one of the world's oldest republics, is a microstate enclaved within Italy, covering approximately 61 square kilometers and home to around 34,000 residents. Despite its small size, San Marino boasts a high standard of living, with a nominal GDP of $1.83 billion in 2022 and a GDP per capita of $53,876. The economy is primarily driven by tourism, banking, and manufacturing. Tourism plays a significant role, attracting visitors to its historic sites and picturesque landscapes. The manufacturing sector focuses on producing ceramics, clothing, fabrics, furniture, paints, spirits, tiles, and wine, contributing substantially to the national GNP. San Marino maintains a close economic relationship with Italy, its main trading partner, accounting for over 80% of exports. Although not a member of the European Union, San Marino uses the euro as its official currency under a special agreement with the Council of the European Union. In recent years, the country has faced challenges, including vulnerabilities in the financial sector and a public debt-to-GDP ratio exceeding 60%. The government aims to reduce this ratio over the medium term to strengthen fiscal sustainability. Despite these challenges, San Marino's rich cultural heritage and strategic economic initiatives continue to support its resilience and development. From the financial strength of Luxembourg to the futuristic innovation of Singapore, the wealthiest countries in the world show us that economic success comes in many forms. Whether powered by oil, finance, tourism, or tech, these nations have mastered the art of prosperity. As we've seen, it's not always about size, it's about strategy, vision, and resilience. Which one impressed you the most? Let us know in the comments.